In this video we're going to look at how you can use the CRS to deal with unmatched journals or unmatched source fields when you read them in either through import register or import records. The first thing we're going to do is to import our register. So we'll go through the normal process and let the CRS examine the records that are coming in. This usually takes only a minute or two, and what the CRS is doing while it's going through this is looking at all of the source fields in the records that are being imported and comparing them against the authority list that lives within the CRS. Now, the authority list has two sets of records in it. It has the NLM journal authority list, which is fixed, and that's supplied when you install the CRS. But it also has any additional source fields that you've chosen to put in there. Once the CRS has looked at all the imported source fields, it gives you this screen if any of those source fields don't match up with the authority list. And the first thing it tells you is that for this set of imported data, we've found 189 values in the source field, the SO field, that don't match a source name in the local CRS lookup list. And you have three options of dealing with those unmatched sources. The first one, which is view unmatched source items, that's the one we're going to look at today, so I'll talk about that in more detail in a bit. The second one allows you to add all of the unmatched sources in one go to your local source list and flag them as unverified. And what that means is that it's saying, okay, these sources don't match, we know that they don't match because we've got them from this screen, but I don't want to deal with them at the moment. I want to come back later when I've got more time, look at those unmatched sources and see whether they really are new journals or whether they're synonyms for existing journals, but not now. The third option is to ignore all the unmatched source items and continue with the import process. And what that essentially does is exactly what it says. It just lets you move straight on from here. All the unmatched journal items will stay unmatched. When you look at the records in the CRS, they'll have a flag next to them to say that this is an unrecognized journal, and if you want to, you can go through all of the items one by one and fix the journals at that point. The key thing about this unmatched source screen is that you don't have to do anything right now. The way it's been designed, if you have time or if you have few records that you want to deal with, you can deal with them straight away. If you don't have time, you can save them and deal with them later, or indeed never deal with them. We'd like to think that people will deal with them in time so that we get a cleaner data set both within the CRS and feeding through into Central. But if you don't want to do that, then there's nothing that forces you to do that. Let's go through the sections of the screen one by one. This first section over here lists the unmatched source items, and what you'll see straight away is that some of these are unmatched because they're conference proceedings, and some are unmatched because they're journals that are simply not in the NLM master list and we've never encountered them before. In the left hand column over here you can see how many times these journals are used. And that's quite useful because it means that you can look down the list, find the ones that are affecting most records. This one, for example, Canadian Journal of Neurological Sciences. There are 16 occurrences of that. So if we fix that journal, then we fixed it for 16 records. We can scroll further down and you'll find that there's more. 19 on this one, current control trials. And there'll be more. A lot of them have just got one. And again, it's still useful to fix those, but you don't need to fix them straight away because they're only affecting one record. So let's start with this one, for example, the American Journal of Medical Sciences. So up here, once we click it up here, it tells us what it is that we're working on, the American Journal of Medical Sciences, and we can go and find that within the list by clicking on the Find Source window and starting to type. So if we type American Journal of Medical, and you can see as you type this list of possible matches reduces, and we can see from this that the American Journal of Medical Sciences doesn't actually appear in the NLM master list, so we're going to want to add that to our own local list. So all we do now, we've established that it doesn't exist, we can go up here and click Add New Source. That'll pop up a window letting us add the new source. So we've got the original journal name, which is the American Journal of Medical Science. We can put in a preferred journal name here if we want to use that for output purposes, although you don't need to put it there. If there's a Medline abbreviation for the journal, well, we would put it there. There almost certainly isn't, because we've got all the Medline journals from Medline. If there's an ISO abbreviation, you can put it in, an ISSN, an ESSN, and a Medline ID if there is one. And again, there wouldn't be one for this because this record doesn't come from Medline. If you want to, if you're sure that that really is the name of the journal, you can just go from there and click OK, and that will save the journal into your local list. If it's something rather more obscure or something that you're not sure about, then you might want to spend some time going and finding the journal, finding the actual correct name for the journal, make sure that's put in. And if you know any synonyms for the journal, you can put them into the synonym list as well. So, for example, here, the American Journal of Medical Sciences, I don't know whether it is, whether there is a synonym for it, but if there is, it might be the AJMS. So you would add that to the synonym list, puts it into the synonym list here. So next time you read in a source field that has AJMS or American Journal of Medical Science, it will convert whatever it's read in, AJMS, into the proper name for the journal and put that into your source field. So let's go ahead and click OK. That's saved it to the local list, and it's removed it from our list of journals here. And you can see that as it's refreshed this list here, we've got it listed in as one of our journals. So these are the ones that are in the NLM, and we've got an unverified journal, the American Journal of Medical Science, here. So what you can then do is work through the list. We can go to the next one, which is the American Journal of... Let's just type N, and we'll see that no, that's not in the list either. So again, we can go and add that as a new source. If we want to add any of the additional fields, we can, but we don't need to. So we can just click OK. That's now in the list. And you can go through all of the journals here and put them into the list as unverified journals. It's quite useful to do it through this screen because it means that you're actually looking at what these journals are, because these will be the journal names that get fed through to Central in due course if the records are going to be put into Central. So this work done up front means that Central gets cleaned up a lot quicker. Okay, we can go on from there, and at any point we can leave this and carry on. There are several options. One is to click Process, and what Process will do is to go back one step and reapply the matching process for all of the records that you're trying to import. So it'll start again, but now it'll have these new additions to the journal list, so it'll be able to match them up, and hopefully you'll get fewer incorrect matches. You can choose to add all the sources. Well, that's the same as just adding them all from that opening screen. If you choose to add the sources, it adds them all as unverified journals, so they're in your list for you to deal with later. Or you can choose to click Continue, and Continue is the same as Ignore, so that basically says, okay, we're going to forget everything that I haven't dealt with, read it in as an unmatched journal, and let it be flagged in the record as unmatched. Okay, that's all there is to the journal matching screen. What it should do is over time enable you to get a much cleaner data set, but also enable you to continue working if you've got lots and lots of unmatched journals that you don't have time to deal with or don't want to deal with at the moment.